KwaZulu-Natal Premier Thami Ntuli says the province will be intensifying operations to ensure compliance in the running of Spaza shops. The Premier held a briefing yesterday on how the provincial government plans to respond to the food poisoning crisis following an alarming trend of incidents affecting a number of school children in the northern parts of KwaZulu-Natal. The outbreak has resulted in some Spaza shops being raided by community members who are now demanding thorough inspections of food sold at Spaza shops. Let's now bring in the Premier into this conversation. Premier, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for making time for us. So what happens today at the Mayville Public Works facility? What is it that you're trying to achieve from this workshop?
Well, good morning, Adrian, and the viewers at home, and thank you for having me. Today, we are meeting the 54 municipalities in the province of KwaZulu-Natal as the government of the province or provincial government in KwaZulu-Natal. Our intention is to engage municipalities on an action of conducting operations all over the province of KwaZulu-Natal. You will remember that in particular the district municipalities, they have the environmental health practitioners whose duty is to check compliance in shops. And then we want to encourage municipalities to lead the multi-sectorial operations, wherein the Department of Home Affairs, the municipalities, the police, and other important departments will engage on an operation. The meeting for today is a meeting not to only discuss what is well known, the crisis, or to only talk about what may be done, but we want to come up with an action plan, and we want to leave knowing when each district will be conducting the operations. And even the members of the executive or authorities or the MECs, they've committed that they will be also participating in the operations, because point number one is to check the issue of compliance for the Spaza shops and all the shops in the different districts. And number two is to check the expired food and even the illicit products. You won't believe that when I was leading an operation in Durban, in one of the cigarette shops, a cigarette had a barcode, which when checked showed that it was a jacket. It was not a cigarette. So we also want to have that being checked, so as to ensure that we try and save more lives. And the other very important part of a discussion is to address the question of how do we ensure that the original owners of the Spaza shops, that the one who are operating, the collaboration between provincial government and municipalities in helping with the training, the empowerment or development to the rightful or original owners, and at the same time the issue of funding them, so that they are the ones who will be owning those Spaza shops. Because even when you go to the rural, deep rural places, you'll find that there are now undocumented foreign nationals who are owning Spaza shops because of the original owner who failed to sustain the Spaza shops. And we will be also engaging on the prescripts that regulate the ownership of Spaza shops in the country, to see if there is no, in fact, a way of not following the prescripts that regulate the Spaza shops. You'll recall that the National Minister of Culture recently, Honorable V.F. Hlabisa, has gazetted bylaws that is meant to regulate the Spaza shops in the country, which municipalities are also expected to adopt. And that will be another subject to make the municipalities to understand what is it that they ought to do, but to also then open the doors for them that whenever they need our intervention, they should be able to engage us so that we will cooperate wherever is necessary.
Yeah, so Premier, with the one around Spaza shops that are owned by undocumented foreign nationals, isn't the first point of call that because you're undocumented, you actually don't have any authority to be operating that particular store, and you don't have authority to actually be in the country unless if you have applied for asylum or refugee status, or you have received that refugee status? So shouldn't that be the focus, and not necessarily that because you are undocumented, your store will now go to a South African who wants to enter the Spaza shop industry?
No, you're quite right, Aldrin, because for the Home Affairs Department to be part of the operations is because even if they produce documents which they say they are documents of allowing them to be here in our province or in our country, Home Affairs will be there so as to verify whether indeed the foreign national is really here legally. That is the first point of departure. We have been conducting such operations as the General of Community Safety and Liaising together with the other sectors. And Home Affairs has been quite very helpful in ensuring that we verify the status of a foreign national who's here in our province.
Yeah, and Premier, also on the other part around the food poisoning, is your information saying to you that these food poisoning cases of food that has been contaminated are only coming from stores that are operated by foreign nationals, or are they coming from Spaza shops in general, sometimes even being operated by South Africans?
No, the call is for us to monitor all the Spaza shops, but not only Spaza shops, even the wholesalers, because these products that are problematic, they are bought from wholesalers. It's important then that we do not only confine our operations to the Spaza shops, all the shops. However, one mustn't be shy to mention that the incidents we are aware of are the incidents wherein the Spaza shops owned by undocumented foreign nationals have been culprits in the cases that are normally reflected.
Yeah. Are you saying only that those cases are only coming from Spaza shops that are operated by foreign nationals?
No, I'm saying the cases one is aware of has been in the main. I think we are also all aware that the culprits are the Spaza shops that are owned by the foreign nationals to say.
So considering that particular aspect, do you think that there is a security threat that we are actually dealing with here as a country?
Well, one is waiting at least to hear what our president will report to the nation, because I do not have any information in that respect.
Okay.
And I don't have anything that suggests to that direction.
All right. Premier, just a final one. The incident that you referred to in your statement where 3 siblings, 3 children, 2, 6 and 11 years old died and the grandmother in hospital. I think this happened in the Ugu district, Umzumbe. How's the grandmother doing, and what has your investigation revealed so far?
Well, as I've mentioned yesterday, that you are waiting for the postmortem to tell us what really happened, because even the dog that ate the same food died. So we are waiting to hear the results of the postmortem. And the grandmother is still recovering in the hospital, the latest information we have.
Okay, thank you so much for your time.